Hello everybody, I am Fuzzyface. Welcome back to this Motorsport Manager career. We're back with the 12th race of the season. We're heading to Yokohama for the Japanese Grand Prix. We're back, just a slight break, just had a little bit of time off to refresh. We're heading back into this now. I think we've got 5 races left to go this season. But just before we jump into this video fully, I'm thinking that season 3 is going to be the last season that we do in this series for a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of time off it. So once we finish series 3, I'm going to sort of draw a line under it for at least a month or two. I'm going to move on to another series with Motorsport Manager, possibly going to be just playing the vanilla game, starting out at the bottom with our own team and see how things go from that. But this Audi series will be taking a break. Probably won't be the end of it. We will be back for season 4 at some point. But anyway, let's jump in. Last time out in Singapore, we had a pretty decent race. Gasly getting second, Vettel getting 5th. We had a late safety car, which allowed Gasly to get onto some fresh tyres, allowed him to finish the race strongly. McLaren did pretty well as well. Leclerc, who is currently leading the Drivers' Championship, got a podium in 3rd place, keeping his gap over Sebastian Vettel healthy. 45 points. Vettel has only got 1 win this season. Gasly's got 2. Leclerc leading the way though by a wide margin. 4 wins this season for him. All of his wins are the only wins that Mercedes have got this season. George Russell has been a little bit disappointing this season in that Mercedes, but Mercedes 17 points ahead of us. McLaren, who have been doing pretty well recently, are 32 points behind Mercedes. It's going to be pretty close come the end of the season who's going to win the Constructors' Championship. I don't think we've got much chance of catching Charles Leclerc unless Mercedes have an absolute nightmare over the last 5 races of the season. But you never know, we could still be in there with Vettel. Last season we did win the Constructors and the Drivers' Championship. We're still in there for the Constructors. Hopefully we can do that. But anyway, let's jump into what the other teams have done as I grab my notebook here. And as we've seen all season, the AI is seemingly obsessed with upgrading the rear wing. Every team absolutely obsessed with upgrading the rear wing. If we look down, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams have built new rear wings heading into this race, which are Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, Haas and Prema, and they've all built new rear wings, whereas Williams, Aston Martin, Renault don't have any upgrades going into their car at all, and we don't have any upgrades going into our car either because we've been on this really long engine build. It should be ready for the time when we get to Brazil, where the engine is crucial, and then into Phoenix as well, where engine is crucial. So we're going to have a nice strong engine for the next 2 races, at least after this one, which should see us challenge towards getting our gap closed down and maybe overtaking Mercedes heading into the final 2 races of the season. I don't think Doha is useful with the engine as well, and Germany, our home Grand Prix to finish the season. Hopefully we're going to be somewhere in or around Mercedes by that, and we're going to have a really good strong end to the season. But anyway, that is what everyone has done. Our rear wing has slipped down to 10th. Aston Martin do have that massively powerful rear wing, so even though they didn't build a new part for this one, their rear wing is still right at the top there, even though pretty much every other team has upgraded their rear wing. In terms of the overall quality of the car, we have slipped to 6th. Aston Martin still retain their top spot, and they're just strong in that rear wing area. It's a massively strong rear wing. They're not that good in any of the other areas really. They do have the Mercedes engine in their car, which puts them, they're actually sat between the Ferrari and their customer teams. So yeah, Aston Martin, they're strong in one area, the rest of the car's not that good. So even though they've got the best car, they do struggle on most race weekends. McLaren up there, Ford, Haas up there as well, Mercedes and Ferrari just ahead of us, which is not too bad if we need to sort of get ahead of Mercedes to try and win this title for the end of the season. But anyway, it's going to be a rainy qualifying session here, which as we know does throw up some quite interesting grid, so we might see what happens there unless we get some dry runs in qualifying. But we're going to jump in to this race now, and we'll go for a better tomorrow on the sponsor because we don't have to achieve as much to get that measly amount of money. Going the wrong way with the tyres here. We usually got 8 and 7, which is what we do. There's no real incentive to go for anything else. Both drivers are delighted with the car, so we're going to jump into practice, which we will skip over, and we'll be back to see how we do in qualifying in just a second. So practice is over. We are not looking too bad. 6th and 7th in practice. Alfa Romeo's looking quick. Nico Hulkenberg a decent time in the Williams as well. But we've got 1 Ferrari and 1 Mercedes. Hamilton and Mercedes looking pretty strong here. We haven't seen much from Ferrari this season with Hamilton and Ricciardo in that team. They just haven't been able to put it together at all this season. But anyway, we're going to head into qualifying. It looks like it's going to be dry from the outset. We do have the full performance increases from practice that we can put into both of our drivers. We're pretty much there with the setups. Vettel a little bit behind, but for some reason the setups weren't working at all here. It's pretty hard to get it close and couldn't do much better than that with Vettel. But anyway, we're going to get out of the garage just when we normally would, about half a minute down. Gasly would run first in qualifying. Not going to look at the weather here. Hopefully it's going to stay dry for this first run and we get the grid sort of the way it should be, because that is what we need. Although a displaced grid might do us a little bit better, because that will put Mercedes a little bit further down. As we say that the rain does start to come out on track, it's not that heavy for the first part of the lap, so we might still get a decent time. There's only Sergio Perez at the moment who is out on the Inters, although we do have Robert Schwartzman as well out on the Inters in a Prema. Gasly is the quickest so far at the moment, although someone's gone quicker in the second sector, which is Lando Norris in the McLaren. But looks like we should be pretty safe after the first run here. The rain has stopped as well, so hopefully this rain is not going to come back. And Vettel is quite a long way down there. I don't know whether that is to do with the weather. I mean, he wasn't that far behind Gasly on track, but to be almost a second down on his teammate, we're seeing the Ferrari pretty quick here. Norris is currently on pole position here, and Ricciardo looking to go pretty quick in this Ferrari as well. Ricciardo has not had a very good season, pretty disappointing, but it's not going to tell us the time there. But Ricciardo does go about half a second quicker than everyone else. That's possibly because he was one of the... I've just looked at the weather there, and it's going to be rainy at the end. Didn't actually mean to do that, so I don't really want to get going now, because we would run with like 3.5 minutes to go. We're still going to do that because that is what the AI would do. But we do know to go out on Inters. Yeah, we would have been going out on Inters anyway, so it would be Vettel first. And then Gasly with about 3 minutes to go would go. I mean, we could have taken advantage of actually looking ahead at the weather, but we just can't do that because the AI is not going to do that as well. It's an unfair advantage over Mercedes and everyone else. I don't want that unfair advantage to get us to the top of the orders, whereas the Mercedes might be further back down the order because of where they've run on track, and we're definitely going to see no improvement here. So Vettel will be starting from like the 11th row of the grid here, unless anyone down there is going to go quicker than him, no matter what. Gasly's not going to go any quicker here. So we've got the Ferraris in prime position for one of their best race results this season, it looks like, because we do have the Mercedes down here as well. Leclerc 12th, Russell 21st. Is anyone else really that far out of order? Not really. We've got Norris. Did Sainz get caught out as well? Sainz is 17th, where his teammate Norris will start from second here. So if we just move forward, since we're out of the top 10, we can start on the harder tyre to start with. So maybe we'll go medium with Vettel since he's a bit further down the order, and we'll go with Gasly because we do want to push him up the order a little bit more. But yeah, Vettel is a long way behind here, and we just need to get in and change these tyres. I think there shouldn't be any rain in qualifying. We do want to look after this medium tyre. It is 30 laps here, so it might even be a two-stop race here, because if you want to get on to the soft tyre, you're not going to get to the end of the race. So should we actually start soft and aim for a two-stop with Vettel? Actually settle for the two-stop pretty early. I think that's what we're going to do, isn't it? With both of our cars, we're going to try and get off this first set of tyres pretty quickly. So if we can get pushing, I don't think the temperature is pretty high though as well. So we don't actually want to push too much from the off. We don't want to put too much heat into this tyre too quickly. But we do want to get off this tyre, and we are going to commit to a two-stop strategy with both cars, because going soft to medium will see you 27 laps, not the full 30 that you need to do in this race. But anyway, let's go down the grid for the 2023 Yokohama Grand Prix. It is Daniel Ricciardo in pole position, followed by Lando Norris in the McLaren. Hamilton up there in the Ferrari as well. I'm guessing he's got a dodgy... No, he's got a cracked rib. So I don't actually know what that does, that injury trait. What does that actually do? Is that just knock your fitness way down? I don't think I've actually seen anyone with a cracked rib before. But anyway, Newgarden starts from 4th in the Ford Haas. We've got Alonso up there in the Red Bull. That Red Bull car pretty terrible at the moment. Then following him, we've got Valtteri Bottas in the Alfa Romeo. On the 4th row of the grid, we've got Hulkenberg and Schumacher in the Williams and Alfa Romeo respectively. And then 9th and 10th, we've got Verstappen followed by Nick de Vries in the Williams. On the 6th row, we've got Pierre Gasly followed by Charles Leclerc in the battle to decide the Constructors' Championship, because we do need to stay ahead of Mercedes here. Tsunoda starts from 13th, Albon from 14th in the AlphaTauri, 15th is Ocon in the Renault, Giovinazzi 16th in the Prema, 17th for Sainz in the McLaren, 18th for Lance Stroll, and then in 19th we got Yuri Vips followed by Magnussen in the Aston Martin, and then on the 11th row of the grid we see George Russell in the Mercedes. We're actually on the same row of the grid as Mercedes on each order. We've got one car in front of a Mercedes, and further back on the grid, we've got Russell just in front of Sebastian Vettel, and then starting from the back row of the grid, we've got the Prema of Robert Schwartzman. And then the Renault, once again, disappointing this season. They no longer have one of the top tier cars. They have fallen right down the order and just not putting things together at all. It's just a good job Ricciardo's not in that team, because it was pretty terrible in that car when that car was one of the best on the grid, what he'd been in that car when it's one of the worst on the grid is another question entirely. But Gasly's off to a pretty decent start, manages to hold this position. Norris has got ahead of Ricciardo from the start here, and that is Bottas up into third place here, having a decent start. Looks like he's going to get the run on Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo shoots into that late braking zone, into that chicane, and stays ahead of Valtteri Bottas. Newgarden is 4th from the start, Hamilton 5th, Verstappen 6th. Gasly now gets past Charles Leclerc. Gasly moving up the order here in our still sort of Heineken branded livery, even though Heineken have left us as a sponsor this season. But that is, I think that's Alonso going alongside us. We should have the power advantage over that Red Bull, especially coming down the main straight. So we should see a pass done on Fernando Alonso here, although Fernando gets a better launch out of that corner, but we should get him in the corner here, and we do. Gasly does, and gets a run on both the Ferraris of Ricciardo and Hamilton. So over the course of pretty much 2 corners, Gasly picks up 3 places, and Alonso has lost out to Alexander Albon in the junior Honda team in the AlphaTauri. Vettel, meanwhile, has got himself up into 16th place. We're just going to try run a little bit cooler with him at the moment. We don't want these tyres just to get too hot at the moment. And Vettel still holding on to 16. We'll keep him pushing for a little bit. And we've turned down with Gasly, who's making a move on Joseph Newgarden now. So Gasly has done an amazing job from the start here, going from 11th up to 3rd over the course of like 1.5 laps. Absolutely brilliant from Pierre Gasly. Lando Norris has got about a second gap over Valtteri Bottas here. We should be able to get this Alfa Romeo at some point. If Gasly can just keep pushing here, we know we can try and get off this soft tyre at any point. What would a pit stop cost us here? If we came in to do a pit stop, we would be battling for 23rd. So it seems to be about 8-ish seconds through the pits. It is a pretty short pit lane. We do have the increased pit lane speed as well. So we just need to try think of when we can get a gap opened here and get in and off this tyre as quick as possible. Go soft, medium, soft, I think is the plan. Finish on the soft tyre. For both of our cars, there's enough distance between the 2 cars as well at the moment. So maybe we should get going with Vettel, just get him off this tyre maybe, because it's going to be pretty hard to cool this tyre down now. We might as well just get going with him and try push him through this little bit of traffic that he's got in front of him, whereas Gasly is holding off Joseph Newgarden at the moment. Yes, we know your tyre's running hot here. Meanwhile, we're going to cool Pierre Gasly down a little bit. He's going to go into recovery mode at the moment, try and get back into the optimal temperature, whereas we're going to run a little bit different with Vettel, and he's moved up through the order now. He's managed to get past Verstappen, Schumacher, Hülkenberg, all fallen by the wayside, or was the Hülkenberg behind him and just followed him through the traffic because it doesn't have a arrow denoting that he's lost any positions. That is Alonso in front. Vettel should be able to get past Alonso as we go through the chicane here in Japan, and we head to the loop and under the bridge. Can we get past Alonso down the main straight like Pierre Gasly did a few laps before? And pretty much the identical move there. Vettel gets the inside line there on that big sweeping hairpin corner, and Vettel goes up into 9th. Looks like he's going to get the run on Charles Leclerc here, which is going to be amazing for us if we can get ahead of the Mercedes. Absolutely brilliant from Sebastian Vettel, and we're going to try cool down ever so slightly with him. I don't really want to go in a backup mode because we would lose a lot of time. We don't really want to let that Mercedes back past us now. Well, that is absolutely amazing to have got in front of both Mercedes here, as Leclerc coming under pressure from Fernando Alonso around the hairpin corner, and Alonso does get that move made. So if we just try to cool down ever so slightly here as we come across the line, 24 laps remaining. Alonso looks like he's going to battle back past us here, so he tried to do the same move that Vettel did to him on the prior lap. So we're just going to get pushed in. Gasly has lost out to Joseph Newgarden here whilst we're trying to cool these tyres down. Try and go as long as we can. We don't really want to, I mean, there is a lot of tyre wear to go through here, but we just want to stay out long enough that we get a nice gap to feed into with Gasly. We don't really want to lose time behind any back markers here, so that is the plan as Vettel is losing out here. That's Alonso going the long way around the outside there of Sebastian Vettel as we're getting all out pushing now. We have to start thinking about when we're going to get Vettel into the pits as he gets past Alexander Albon. Fernando Alonso is in front, although Verstappen in that very powerful Ford Haas is battling away here, and we're losing places. So I'm thinking we're going to get in pretty early here. It's going to say we're going to come right out at the back of the grid though, isn't it? We've alongside Yuri Vips and just battling away. I mean, if we get in and do both our pit stops pretty quickly, get the first 2 over and done with since we committed to the 2 stop, would that work out for us? I mean, this tyre is about to go off. Could we stay out another lap here? Gasly is getting back close to Joseph Newgarden here, although Daniel Ricciardo pretty quick in that Ferrari. His pole position, he has dropped down to 5th place. Should we get pushing with Gasly now as well? Try and keep him ahead, and we're definitely going to have to get Vettel in this lap. Should we get onto the soft tyre and try clear the traffic and then finish on this medium tyre? I think that's what we're going to do with Vettel, and then go the other way around with Gasly. Just go through the 2 soft tyres with Vettel, because he's going to have a lot of traffic to clear, and then maybe we'll have to do the same with Gasly depending if he's going to come out into traffic or not. But as it is, it doesn't look like Vettel is going to come out into a lot of traffic here. But hopefully he can battle his way through it, as we saw him do previously on this soft tyre. I mean, he's actually got a pretty decent gap at the end. I mean, that was actually longer through the pit lane than it said last time. I mean, there's no corners that we cut out, so this should be pretty accurate. 18 seconds through the pits. Why would it say we will be battling 23rd? But yeah, Gasly does have to get into the pits this lap. If it says 18 seconds through the pit stop... No. Get back on the camera. He's going to be coming out 24 seconds. He's definitely going to be battling with traffic, isn't he? Is Pierre Gasly, so we're definitely going to have to get him out onto the soft tyre as well, and then finish the race on the medium. These tyres are about to go off, but we should see our way through into the pits. Newgarden is coming to the pits as well, as Ricciardo is staying at another lap here, so that is... Oh, not another mistake. It looks like Newgarden had a mistake on his tyres as well, because he was in the pits for a very long time as well. And we feed out into a hell of a lot of traffic now, so we're just going to have to push through this next stint as well, and then get onto the mediums and try finish this race on those medium tyres. And Vettel has worked his way towards the back of the grid. Vips hasn't pitted yet in the Red Bull, but can we clear any of this traffic? That is going to be the big question here. We're going to lose out through this traffic. I mean, Ricciardo did stay out. Is Ricciardo in and out of the pits in front of us here, especially with the mistake that we had in the pits? Are we going to come through here? Looks like we're going to be just behind. No, we go flying through Daniel Ricciardo almost there. So that is pretty good as well. Vettel is going pretty quick as well. A really quick second sector, and then the quickest third sector of the race in with all this traffic. Gasly is currently behind Robert Schwartzman at the moment as well, and we're just pushing. There's no point trying to cool this tyre down in traffic, because we're going to lose so much time if we try and cool down. As we see, whereas the Newgarden has actually fallen down here, struggling in the traffic is Joseph Newgarden. We've actually moved up to 17th. Lando Norris, who was leading the race, got in and out of the pits in pretty much zero traffic. Bottas is now in the pits as well, and where are we going to come filter back out into here? Just behind Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton stayed out 2 laps, didn't get any traffic at all in front of him. He has gone for the soft tyre as well, so definitely a 2-stop race for him as well. Looks like we're going to get past Lewis on track here with Pierre Gasly. That is going to happen as we come up to the cars now that are on the medium tyres. And that should all be starting to think about pitting. So we are pretty much effectively 4th place, depending on where we stay in relation to Hamilton. Vettel has done a good job of closing up the gap as well. We do have to recover a lot of fuel towards the end of this race as well, as Gasly makes the easy overtake on Nick de Vries there on... Well, we say that, and then Nick de Vries get a really good exit out of that corner. I shouldn't have spoken too soon there, but yeah, we're effectively 4th place here. Bottas is still challenging away with... that is Lando Norris in front of him. A lot of these cars that have started on the medium though, because it's the AI, they don't have to follow the same rules that I'm sort of limiting myself to. They can go medium and finish this race. Is that what we've seen Bottas do? No, Bottas started on the soft here, and we're just sort of stuck in traffic here with Gasly. We do need to try clear Nick de Vries, as Nick de Vries does come into the pits there. So we do manage to clear Nick de Vries here, and we need to make this charge towards Lewis Hamilton in this Ferrari and George Russell, who could be going medium here. A little bit of a game in the system. We're going to see Giovinazzi come into the pits. I mean, has Verstappen gone medium? No, he hasn't. We're going to see what Verstappen does, and that will allow us to see what the cars further up the order are possibly going to do off their mediums as well. I don't think George Russell's coming into the pits this lap. No, he's not. So if we just see what Giovinazzi does off his pit stop, is he going to go for another medium here? A little bit gamey from the AI if they do that. Yeah, they're going to wooden stop off 2 medium tyres. I mean, I wish you could put the restriction in like in real life, where everyone does have to use at least 2 of the tyre compounds for the weekend, but yeah, not something we can think about. We're going to get Vettel in on this lap as well. He's going to come out 15th if he does that, it says, but we know he's going to come out a lot lower down than that. I mean, Schumacher's going to go to the end of the race as well. So a lot of these AI cars that are gaming the system by going for 2 mediums. Yep, I mean, let's just see where Vettel comes out of the pits here. Vettel is going to come in behind George Russell. Hopefully there's not going to be a mistake here. And we do get out in front of George Russell, so an amazing pit stop there, and we can't actually push too much with Sebastian Vettel. He comes out of the pits into 17th place behind a lot of these cars that have done the 1 stop on the medium. I mean, I'm absolutely, yeah, not much. We're going to have to get pushing with Pierre Gasly as well, otherwise he's going to get caught in that same traffic as well. The AI a little bit cheating here, as Gasly sets the quickest second sector, and he's going to have to get into the pits on this lap. I mean, I would go soft, 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 but we can't do that. We can't use all the same compound tyre in a race. We're going to get on to the medium tyre. Just make sure I set that up properly. Getting onto the mediums. Everything is looking fine. And a balanced pit stop. So hopefully Gasly can keep up the pace over this lap. We're getting pretty close to Lewis Hamilton here. It looks like Norris is going to be able to get in and out as well. Bottas as well, without having to be troubled about the cars that are doing the 1 stop on the mediums. And Gasly has run out of this tyre a little bit, but he's in and out, and just in front of Vettel here. And we're going to have to recover this fuel as well over the latter course of this race. So Gasly possibly is going to lose out to Vettel here, but yeah, a lot of these cars that are doing this 1 stop on the medium, like Verstappen, Schumacher, Hülkenberg, Giovinazzi, they've just pretty much got in front of us from pretty much gaming the system. Nothing we can do about it. But as I said, I wish you could set a limitation that cars do have to use at least both tyre compounds in the weekend, because we've only got 2 to choose from here. I could have done that since we're outside the top 10. We could have gone medium, medium, but I'm not going to game the system like the AI likes to do. But we've got Gasly in 15th, Vettel in 16th. Luckily, that should happen to the AI as well. I mean, Leclerc is out a little bit here. Whilst we're stuck in traffic, it doesn't look like he's that much quicker though, so Leclerc should still be behind us. Whether we're going to pick up points or not is another question entirely now. And we do have a little bit of room to push with this tyre, so we might as well get it going, as Gasly is under pressure for Sebastian Vettel here. I mean, if we don't get that many points, Vettel is going to get past Gasly here down the start-finish straight, as we've got Tsunoda flying through here. Leclerc has got out in front of us though, which is a bit of a disaster. Luckily, Russell is still behind us. There's still a lot of cars to pit, but I don't think we're actually going to get into the points here, due to how these pit stops have worked out. Maybe we should have tried to hold on to these tyres a little bit more. But anyway, Vettel is now 13th. I mean, we should see ourselves up into the points, unless we're going to see some of these cars that are on the medium do another stop. They shouldn't have to stop. It should be doable. Maybe they're going to make a late stop later on in the race. But anyway, we don't want these tyres to overheat. That would be a disaster if they did. We're going to have to maybe try conserve them at some point, because the weather is pretty hot. 24, then a quick rise to 25 before dropping down to 24. Anyway, we're up into the points now with Vettel. We've got Charles Leclerc in front of us. Gasly is 11th, so hopefully we can get him into the points as well, because it doesn't look like Russell is going to be up there in the points. So we should still be gaining more points than Mercedes over the course of this race, although we say that. And that is Daniel Ricciardo, who's gone for 3 sets of soft tyres. I think, yeah, the AI gaming the system both ways around as Leclerc. No, Leclerc does have a pair of mediums on. But yeah, Gasly losing out here to the cars in and around him. His tyres are starting to overheat as well, so we'll try and conserve him. We'll try to overtake Giovinazzi with Sebastian Vettel. He's got Alonso behind him, who is on a soft tyre as well. You just have to watch out for that without pushing these tyres too much. And Alonso is going to get us here, and it does look like Ricciardo on that fresh pair of soft tyres is a lot quicker than us. If we can just get past Giovinazzi here and then try cool down, that is going to be the best result we can hope for. Although Giovinazzi immediately shoots back past us as we turn back down. You see, as soon as you turn down, you just lose so much time. Vettel's tyres are now overheating. And we do have 5 laps left, so we do have to look after him, but we do really need to get past Giovinazzi here. That we do down the start finish straight. And there we go. Gasly is now pretty much cool, so we can run him. He's nearly recovered his fuel as well. He's done a really good job at recovering the fuel, as Vettel is still under pressure from Giovinazzi here, as it looks like Norris is going to go on to easily win this race. He's got a nice 3-second cushion to Valtteri Bottas. We've got Schumacher and an Alfa Romeo looking like it. Podium could be likely, although Lewis Hamilton is getting pretty close to him. But he does have those cracked ribs, which might affect his fitness over these last couple of laps. And then we've got Williams in 5th. Leclerc's done a pretty decent job to get himself up into 6th place. Alonso 7th, Vettel 8th, Newgarden 9th, and Vettel just losing out to Newgarden now, and Vettel losing out to Giovinazzi as well, as we just try cool these tyres down. And I think we can go from this point. Hopefully we can get past Giovinazzi again, 10th and 13th. I mean, we're absolutely, it's pretty much a terrible race here. I mean, we've got enough of this tyre left with Gasly that we can possibly push him to the end of the race. We might as well just go for it with Pierre Gasly, since he's outside the points as well. And Vettel as well is now outside the points as he loses out to Daniel Ricciardo, which is going to get him pushing as well. We might as well just risk everything, otherwise we're not going to get into the points at all. We might as well try and push to get, we need at least a couple of points here, because Leclerc is up the order here and picking up 8 points in this race if we can clear Giovinazzi. I mean, there is Newgarden there on that medium. I don't think Ricciardo on that fresh pair of soft tyres is a target for us, but you never know, we might be able to catch him. There's 2 laps remaining once we get across the start-finish line. But anyway, hopefully we can get past Giovinazzi, and hopefully we can do that as well with Gasly. It's not like we're going to get it on this lap though, but you never know, Gasly could do it as we are about to head into the final lap. We've got about a lap and a half to go. Norris is going to be confirmed the winner pretty soon, and we're just pushing it all out. This medium tyres is about to drop off, isn't it, with Vettel, so we do have to look after that as well. Hopefully we're not going to lose out for Giovinazzi. Hopefully we can keep on course for 1 point here, and might as well get pushing all out with Pierre Gasly over the final lap of the race. Doesn't look like points are going to be on the car for Gasly unless he can clear his teammate here, because Vettel's tyres are pretty much going off. Though we can go for pushing as well here with Vettel over the last part of this lap, and we need to turn off the fuel with Gasly. Gasly goes around the long side of the hairpin, going to battle with his teammate. Vettel is pushing all out here. He's using the fuel a little bit more. It's going to be a run to the start-finish line, and Vettel does pick up the point there, coming across the line. Almost a photo finish between our 2 cars. As you see, a couple of these cars up there, first and first. 1 stop for Schumacher and Hulkenberg, a little bit elevated. I mean, we lost time. Possibly not the best decision in the world to try and get through the tyres as quickly as possible. Maybe we'd have stayed out and avoided some traffic. I mean, I was hoping we could avoid traffic, because it did say a pit stop was going to be 8 seconds, and we saw it took about 18. I don't know why the game did that. I mean, there is some short pit stops, especially with the way we've got the pit stops set up now, where the pit lane limit is 60 miles an hour and not 40 miles an hour. It is quicker through a pit stop, but just too much traffic after that second stop, I feel, pushes down to 10th and 11th. So Charles Leclerc picking up more points than us now. I mean, it's pretty much confirmed that Leclerc is going to win the Drivers' Championship here, because he's going to be so far ahead. It's going to be almost... Vettel would have to win 2 races where Leclerc finished outside the points to get to him. Although Norris is a lot closer with Norris with that race win now. And then we've got Vettel and Gasly in 3rd and 4th as it retains to the Constructors. We're now 26 points behind. McLaren have jumped us and look to be in prime position now for battling with Mercedes. McLaren have been on a tear over the last couple of races, so this could be McLaren's year. But we'll just have to see what happens over the last 4 races of the season. We came 8th overall. Not a good race for us as well. We've got the £2 million coming out of the bank account. Not a massive amount compared to the budget that we've got. Norris confirmed the winner. I think that was David Schumacher winning the race in Formula 2 there. Anyway, we'll just take the interview to finish things off. And yeah, I will say that one. It's going to upset the chairman. I mean, pretty much my mistake that time around, getting in too early. But anyway, that is where we're going to leave things. We do have the new engine going into the car, which is crucial, although the rear wing is crucial. And we've sort of dropped back in that area. This engine is going to be done. I don't think we've got time to build a rear wing, which is what we're going to build next. Would that be sensible? Yeah, because the rear wing is crucial in Phoenix as well. But it's not crucial for the last 2 races of the season. But I'm looking for a really good result in Phoenix. Hopefully that pulls us back to the top of the order as long as we get a good result in Brazil as well with our engine, which could be the best engine after this update, this upgrade that we've got. We might be able to jump the Ford Haas team and have a really, really strong engine. Hopefully that is going to be the case. But anyway, that is going to be it for this episode. We've got Brazil coming up next time. But until that time, I'll see you down the road in Brazil for the Rio de Janeiro Grand Prix. But until then, goodbye.